On to somebody who hasn't gotten a hint of when to get the hell out. Maxine Waters, who's starting to look more and more like she's been embalmed, brought back an oldie but a goodie.
As far as I'm concerned, we have to move very aggressively. It is not about, lingering and trying to think that maybe the courts will help us. I want, even though I know it may not happen, the cabinet that he's appointed, a bunch of his sycophants who probably won't do what I would recommend. It is time to call for Article 25 of the Constitution of the United States of America to determine his unfitness, to determine that something's wrong with this president.
Stop it, lady.
And I would suggest that we move very aggressively to talk about the danger to this country and to our democracy, and not play around with this, because this is absolutely one of the most destructive things that this president could do.
Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, I mean, your take on this, because I think it's jarring to hear Congresswoman Waters say it's time for the 25th Amendment, but I mean, presidents have been impeached for much less.
This is true.
Democrats don't seem to understand that the value of a franchise drops the more sequels you churn out. And here we are at what feels like impeachment part 3 with a vengeance. Maxine Waters is now calling for the 25th Amendment to declare Trump mentally unfit for office after already failing twice to take him down. So let's not forget, folks, the first impeachment circus was built on the collapsing Russiagate hoax. The second was a January 6th narrative, stitched together with cherry-picked quotes from Trump's speech before people even walked to the Capitol, and built on the assumption that his words alone sparked the violence that took place that day. But funny enough, it was later revealed in congressional hearings that federal agents were embedded in that very crowd, allegedly taking part in and fueling the chaos. So in other words, the narrative that January 6th was purely a Trump-led insurrection falls apart the more light you shine on it. Needless to say, neither impeachment attempt met the constitutional bar of high crimes and misdemeanors. And yet, here we are again, this time with no evidence, just a claim of mental instability because they can't beat him on policy or results. The irony, well, these same Democrats propped up Joe Biden, a man so visibly diminished he couldn't even walk off stage without handlers. They told us he was perfectly fit to lead the free world. Now, what this reveals is a deeper sickness in our politics. Democrats treat constitutional mechanisms not as safeguards of liberty, but as partisan weapons. Every failed attempt doesn't just weaken their credibility, it cheapens the seriousness of impeachment itself and exposes how desperate they are to cling to power when their arguments collapse in the daylight.